up, girlies?
Hey, ladies.
Hey,
How are we doing today?
it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
It is a beautiful day in the neighborhood. It's a weird Pittsburgh fall.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
It's warm, but it might storm. I hope not.
We're getting snow
Shut up.
in
Do
2
not
days.
say
week.
that.
I saw
in
it.
2 days.
I will come across this mic and grab your hair. No. We are not having snow.
It's
The S
time.
word is unavailable. No.
It's
That's a
time.
curse word for right now until December 1st,
Yeah.
at least December 1st. All right. So I'm Elena,
I'm Darah.
and this is our cousin Mel.
Thanks for having me, cousins.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she is joining us on Where's the Adult, where we talk about our caregiving journey, the woes, the laughs, the tears, and all the people that we met on the way of our crazy journey.
And our trauma brain and all the stuff that we forgot that we just randomly remember. Oh, yeah,
I
that
know
did
about
happen.
trauma brain. Yes.
All the mess. All the mess
Yes.
that's involved in all of that.
And November is National Caregivers Month, Family Caregivers Month.
Aw.
Shout out to all
Shout
you
out.
family caregivers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. You know what's funny is like our telepathy. So along our journey, I would be in the midst of texting Darah something
Mm-hmm.
as she's calling me to tell me that same thing. And then I'm like, get out of my head, Darah.
Yeah.
Like, let me have my own thoughts.
Instinct. Yeah.
Yeah, it's real weird.
Yeah.
So a lot of times, like the same thing, we do finish each other's sentences.
That's the sister bond too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we don't see each other a lot. Like you would think, oh, you guys must spend a lot of time together. I'm like, oh no. Sometimes they go, I don't know. I think I've gone months without seeing you. At
No.
least a month.
Maybe a month.
Yeah.
We'll give it 30 days.
Yeah.
It's in person, but there's definitely a video sprinkled in there. Like,
Yes.
I just want to make sure you're still with us.
Yeah. Yes. A random voice memo sent back.
Yes,
Some
for sure.
correspondence at least.
Yeah, something.
Right,
Something.
right. All right. So today we're going to talk to Mel. And Mel is our older cousin, even though she doesn't look it because she's so fancy.
We have to say older.
Well, I
What's-
did say
it's better than
she's
the-
our old cousin.
And it's better than saying mature.
Yeah,
This is
true.
what mature. I always think of like a 9-year-old, like, oh, she's so
She's
mature.
mature for
I'm
her
like,
age. Yeah.
oh, she's
She's our vintage cousin.
That's right.
Elder cousin.
Yes. He's the same age as my husband.
Oh, yeah. Well, he was robbing the
There's that.
cradle. We like them old men.
We're grateful for him.
Yes, we are.
We'll keep him.
Yes, we are keeping. This week, I'm definitely keeping him.
Oh, good.
Oh, good.
I'm glad he'll survive another.
I was sick this week, and he was my chauffeur. He came in clutch.
Very nice.
Yeah. Yeah. So before we get into that, so Darah, why don't you tell us how your husband came in clutch this week?
So I'm a workaholic. Everybody knows I work too much. But I was so sick on Tuesday that I left work probably after 90 minutes.
Mhm.
Went home.
Which is rare.
Yeah. Yeah. Went home. Slept. Sick. I was sleeping on the couch. And then I'm like, oh, all right, I'm going to go to bed now. Getting all comfy in bed, set my alarm. Ring, 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 ring. Hello? Hi, Darah? Is this Darah? This is Darah. This is Arden. We're calling about your dad. What? He keeps passing out.
Oh
What? Yeah, we called the nurse and we're going to transport him to the hospital. We're going to send him to this hospital. And I said, no, you're not. You're going to send him to this hospital. And I was like, okay, I will meet him there. So I called Elena. And I guess I looked still very unwell.
Yeah.
And Lawrence was like, I'm going to drive you. And I said, they might not let you in. It's okay. I'll just sit in the car. So at like, I don't know, we got there at like 10:30 at night. It was cold that night. And he sat in the car until about 2:30 in the morning.
Beautiful.
Because he wasn't allowed in, so Elena and I could be with our dad. And And then, so overnight, they don't have EMS running people back. So the options were we take him home, which that was already always the plan, or he just sits there. He was fine when we were with him,
Right.
but he had to go get a CT scan. He came back from that CT scan quite agitated.
He was grumpy.
Why am I here? Why am I here? And the guy was like, oh, you were just passing out. I was like, stop, just stop, buddy. It's like,
Too much.
Redirect.
Right.
Redirect. Talked about something else. He's
I
just
said,
going to say
the
it
doctor just wanted to visit with you.
over and over again. I'm like, just redirect. Just redirect. Dad, you warm? Here, let me tuck you in. Okay. Yeah. And when we walked into the hospital, he wasn't speaking. He was just like staring at us. And then all of a sudden, Darah, I'm cold. Darah, I'm cold. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Is he doing better now?
Yeah. They couldn't figure out what's wrong with him. Yeah. We took him home. He didn't understand
He
why
was
we're
still like, why are we here? Where I live here? Where are we? Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, you got to be quiet because people are sleeping.
Yeah.
Why are we here?
I'm
Dad,
like,
shh.
It was the
You're
middle of
just
the
gonna
night
go to-
by then.
It was
like
2:30 in the morning.
It was like the morning.
Right.
It was the morning.
I was like, oh man, there goes that full moon.
I'm like, Lordy kids.
That's the life of caregivers.
Yep.
And the next day, perfectly fine. Nothing wrong, out and about, going to activities, which he never does. He's like, well, I guess going to the hospital gives me a little pep in my step. Now I'm going to go to
Reset.
these activities.
Not us though. I was dragging.
I bet.
Dragging. I was like, oh, this ain't it.
No. I was like, I have to work from home today because I'm very tired. Yeah.
Okay. So now we shift our focus.
We got you up on our week.
Well, thank you for the update on my baby uncle.
Yes. So,
Or as I call him, Uncle Baby.
Uncle baby.
great, because
That's
she
cute, too.
remembers nothing.
I don't.
Nothing.
We're just blaming on my dyslexia. My brain is wired differently than other people's. So
Yes.
if you're like, who's that? I'm like, oh, I don't know. But I think they have a small dog and they live in that house. But don't ask me what their name is. Don't tell me about a celebrity's name.
That
I'll
is
be like,
true.
who's that? She was in what movie? Don't
I'm
yeah.
like, oh, you know. Mm-mm.
You went to high school with her. You've known her your whole life. Did I?
Just don't recall. It's okay.
Don't remember.
Gracious. So, Mel,
Yes.
tell us about you.
About me. So I am the pastor of a church which is called Kingdom Builders Assembly, located in Houston, about to move here in a couple of weeks. I have to tell you girls about that. So I'm the mother
Houston,
of two.
Pennsylvania.
Houston, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's
Not
south of
Texas.
Pittsburgh.
Yes.
It's a little bit south of Pittsburgh.
Yes. Out towards Little Washington, as they call it here. Yes.
Or Washington, depending on where you.
That's
Yes.
exactly.
Because if you were in Pittsburgh, you might get confused. If you're like, I'm going to the Home Depot in Washington, people might
Which
think
Washington?
you're driving to D.C.
Right.
No, you're
True.
going to Little Washington.
Right. You have to be very clear.
I
Very
can't
clear.
believe people still call it Little Washington, but yeah, it is.
They're
Yes.
vintage. Those people are vintage.
And Little Washington is nothing like D.C.
In some ways. Some ways.
Okay.
Yes.
So you're a pastor.
I'm a pastor. I'm the mother of two. I never know to say boys or men because one is a boy and one is a man. So I have two kids.
Okay.
One is 12 and my oldest is 33.
Bless your heart.
Yeah, I know who does that, but I do. They're 22 years apart.
God did that.
He
Yes.
absolutely did that.
Yes.
He absolutely did that. And I'm so grateful. The 12-year-old is an absolute gem, so I'm grateful. But that's it. I'm my wife.
Oh,
Maybe I speak those things that are not as if they were. No, I pull that back down. We rebuke that right now.
Hard
No,
pass.
thank you. No, thank you. No,
Yeah,
thank you.
no. So I'm a mother and a pastor and a full-time employee. So everything in my life's wrapped up in those things.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Siblings?
Siblings. So it depends on which you're talking about, because technically I am the last of 11, because my dad has 11 children.
Okay.
My parents together have 4, and I'm still the last of the 4.
Baby.
I am the
Babies
baby.
are the best.
They
We the
are.
best.
We're a special breed.
We are.
Yes.
Yeah, we are.
Y'all are something.
Yeah. So I'm the baby, but I have oldest sibling personality.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm the
Mm.
baby with the oldest sibling personality, and carry the
So
weight
you're
of the
the
oldest.
carrier, the
Very much the
caretaker.
carrier, caregiver. As long as I can remember, I've been a caregiver, though. My entire life, I've been caring for someone in one way or another.
Tell us about that.
Yeah. So most of that has been like our grandmother. So she was probably the first one that I became caretaker with, because, as you know, we lived in a duplex. And so after her strokes, I was the one who was right next door. So I was the one who was helping feed her, take care of her, be company to her. And even after she moved, after our house burnt down, I was still going over there, doing her hair, doing her nails. So, and at that time, I was just a teenager.
Wow.
So I've been caregiving pretty much since then. And then being the youngest child, but having nieces who were just under me by 4 or 6 years, I was babysitting at 10, 11 years old. So caregiving's just been a way of life for me.
So who all have you cared for?
Oh, caregiving. So beyond our grandmother and my nieces, we've had 3 family members with ALS. For those who don't know, ALS is a fatal disease that takes, you lose your ability to walk, to talk, to eat, and eventually to breathe. And so in our family, we have genetic ALS. And so what I would call now our baby aunt, a middle aunt, and then my mother all had ALS. And I have played a part in caregiving for all 3 of them. And so it's been quite a journey in our family with ALS and being the caregiver, which has just really come natural for me. Like even when our grandmother died, it was like all of the aunts and uncles spending the night in the hospital, and me. And so I have always been caring for the people I love.
And how do you feel about that responsibility?
Yeah.
You know what? It's been in and out of different seasons of how I feel about it. Sometimes my frustration, it feels like, why am I this person? And then other times it feels like was created to be this person.
Mm.
And so I embrace it and I run with it. And then having lost so many people, I now look at it as an honor to being able to walk with them
Yeah.
through those times when they were sick. So yeah, I do think it's very much an honor. You know, it's also exhausting. It's also sad. It's also
Yes.
frustrating. But at the end of the day, it's really an honor to be able to care for people and for people to trust you to care for them.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What do you have any advice, support for people that are caregiving for someone that has ALS? Resources?
Yes. So the ALS Foundation is an excellent resource for ALS. Also, the Multiple Sclerosis Association also gives out some information and some aid to people with ALS. But as we know, ALS, there is no cure and there are no concrete treatments at this time. So basically what the care that you're able to give is mostly support. And so the ALS Foundation will provide like cough assists and walking assistance and things that they need to manage their everyday life. And so, but the best thing to do is to get into an ALS clinic. Pittsburgh has an amazing ALS clinic at Mercy Hospital. And so once you're into a ALS clinic, they will line you up with everything that you need for you and your family to get
That's
through that
That's
journey.
wonderful.
Yes. It was definitely a great resource. We didn't find it. As you know, our first aunt, we did not know that she had ALS. We knew that she was ill. We knew something was going on, but they never diagnosed her. We didn't really know that that's what she had until the second aunt got ALS at 62 years old. So the first one was 52, second one was 62, and then my mom was 72 when they were diagnosed.
Wow.
Yes.
And how hard is the diagnosis process for ALS?
You know, the hardest part about the diagnosis process is the length that it takes to get to the diagnosis. So there is no one-stop diagnosis for ALS like there is for other diseases. They sort of have to rule out everything else and you're well into the progression of the disease before they come back with the diagnosis. And so they do EMGs, they do some different things, but it's really a ruling out process. And so I was there when our aunt got her diagnosis, and then I was in the room when my mother got our diagnosis. And it just felt like everything in life shifted at that moment when you hear a fatal diagnosis.
Can you tell us about that shift?
You sort of look at life from a different perspective. With our aunt, it was more of we didn't have an understanding of it at that time. We didn't know. We went home and we're like trying to Google what that meant. With my mom, I had already walked through the reality of it. And so you instantly go to death is coming. So how do we walk you through that to get to death? And her first words when she got the diagnosis, it was me, her, and my sister in the room. Her first words to us were, "What about you guys?"
Oh,
Yes.
Is that what you said when we got our diagnosis?
Yes. Yes. Because when you get a fatal diagnosis, it's not just the person who is sick that gets the diagnosis. Like I felt like we all got diagnosed with ALS because we were all going to walk through it together. And that's what we promised her when she said that. She said, "What about you guys?" And all me and my sister said was, "We will take care of each other."
Oh.
And that's what we've been doing. Yeah.
how did you already going through it once, and now it's your mom? How did you prepare yourself emotionally for that journey?
It was my faith. So the strangest part about that time is when my mom got diagnosed, my dad had already been diagnosed with multiple myeloma. So we already had this diagnosis of him with cancer, and then she got this ALS diagnosis. But for me, it was all about my faith, right? So I went into pastoral mode, and that's really how I got through that. It became a mindset of me like, God can heal, but if he doesn't, my mother has a relationship with him, and she's going to spend eternity with him. There comes a point when you see someone going through such a debilitating disease that you become very comfortable with death because you realize that the life they're living is such debilitating and traumatic, and watching them lose one thing at a time, and you know that they have a home with Jesus. I sort of got to the point where, like, God, whenever you're ready, you can come and get her. And so it was my faith, but also to go with that, it was also a battle with my faith, right? Because it's my mother.
Yeah.
And so you're trying to balance the fact that I know God can heal, but if he doesn't do it for her, how do I rest that in my soul? How do I rest that in my spirit? And there were definitely times where I battled with my faith as opposed to understanding death and understanding that she was not going to get better. But I knew the truth of God's word. And so I knew that to be absent from the body was to be present with the Lord. And so I went into, I definitely will not be selfish enough to try to keep her from that. And so I rested in that.
That totally hit me in the feels
Yeah.
because it wasn't until Darah and I were in the garage of the hospital going, and you were with us through that ride too,
Yes.
going to the hospital when I prayed the prayer, let your will be done.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I was not, I was like, God, just heal her, just heal her. I was not,
Yeah.
so I get that one.
I think that's
Definitely.
one of the greatest acts of love
Yeah.
that you can release to someone, to allow them to know that you love them enough that you don't want them to
To
suffer,
suffer,
here.
right?
Oh,
right.
absolutely. Absolutely. And in that parking garage, our mom always said, be a blessing, be a blessing, be a blessing. Wherever you're at, be a blessing. We're in the parking garage. We are devastated. We know we're going in there, and they're probably going to be like, your mom's gone. We have to turn
Yeah,
off all the
the
stuff.
machines, yeah.
Right.
We got there early. We are waiting for it to open. We're like, oh my gosh. And there was a man there that couldn't speak. He was just wandering around the garage. And we're like, we have to help them. Even though we're like, we want to go in and see our mom. Like,
Yeah.
we just want to get there.
Yeah.
And he's like, he had his valve, and he's like, he just needed directions.
Yeah.
And we're like, we're gonna give this
Is
man
that the guy who
direction.
needed the bus pass?
Yep, I gave him. So I used to carry bus passes in my wallet all the time, so I could just give them out to people when they were in trouble. And he needed to know where to get somewhere in AGH, and then he needed a bus pass to get home. And I was like, "Yeah, this is Lydia. She's probably already up in heaven.
Yeah.
She sent this dude here so we could help him, so it could ease our mind." So we could be like, you know what? We are out of our mind, and we are helping someone else.
Yes.
And that's why we started this whole podcast, to get out of
Absolutely.
our mind and our feelings to help others. Because, so,
When I watched you guys do this, the first thing that came to my thinking was, this is how you get up on top of grief instead of letting grief get on top of you. It's like when
Yes.
you are proactive in your grief, like I've been very intentional with, no, I'm going to deal with grief so grief doesn't deal with me.
yes.
And that's what you guys are doing here. You're getting on top of grief and still being a blessing, just like your mom taught you.
Yes.
Whatever, Lydia.
Just like she told you.
I wish I could be a blessing in another way. I wish,
I wish we
she
could hit the
still-
lottery and I could just be like, here's bags of money. Here's bags of
Yes.
money.
But look how you're giving her life even more legacy because of what you went through with her. You're
Yeah.
birthing this to bless other people. I mean, that just keeps her blessings going forward of what she's put inside of you. It's amazing.
True. And that
Amazing.
struggle of like, yes, God can heal. Is this one of those
Yeah.
situations?
Right.
Yes.
Like 'cause we would play like her gospel mix in the song like God Turn It Around.
yeah.
And like for a while, like I could not listen to that mix
Right.
for a while because like I was angry.
Yes.
I was like,
Yeah.
listen, God, you got some very different people walking around on this earth, and you took Miss Lyd, and I don't like it.
yeah.
But my bestie's mom was like, well, yell at him
Mhm.
because he's big enough to take it.
Absolutely big enough.
I was like, okay, well, let's do that then.
Yeah.
It was very helpful.
And I think that people forget that God is our Father.
Mm-hmm.
And so, as our Father, we have a right to go to Him. I had many conversations like, this isn't fair. Why is this happening in my family? What did we do? Do you hate
Mhm.
us? And then I go, no, the truth is your word is that you love us and that you're good, even though this is really bad.
Yeah.
Right. And
Yes.
that's an example, you know. I not always like it.
No, we don't have to like it. We just have to accept that He's in charge and that He is good, even in the worst of situations. And like you guys have found, like all through caregiving, I've always just trying to find God in it. Like if I can find God in it, I can deal with that
Yeah.
as long as I can find Him. So and if you look for Him, He said you'll find Him.
Yeah.
And sometimes looking for Him is in the midst of anger and tears rolling down your face, but He's there. And if you can find Him, you can know I can get through this because He's with me. You know, I had beautiful moments with your mom in the hospital, and she knew God was with her. You know, you guys created such a peaceful atmosphere in that room. You're gonna have to talk about at some point like everything you did in that room. It was like a sanctuary.
Yeah.
When you went
Yeah.
in there.
A
Who
winter
Who
wonderland.
wants to be in the hospital? But
Right.
not only the winter wonderland, we planted a garden in the window of like
Yes.
stick-on
Flowers and-
butterflies
yep.
and whatnot.
Yep. And we took care of all the staff, so they would take care of her. Hey, I baked this for you. Hey, here's some dinner.
That was
Here's
beautiful.
some this. Because if we loved on them, we know that they would love on her, and they did.
Absolutely. And you were
Yeah.
there, you were present. I think that's the biggest part of caregiving is just being present.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's hard though. Like it is
Yes.
very like I love my dad, but sometimes the anxiety I feel driving to visit him is
Yes.
unbelievable.
Yes.
I don't know what I'm walking into. I don't know how he's gonna be. Is he gonna try to choke on me? Like, like a month ago, we had to pull him out the car on the side of the road and Heimlich him because he was trying to choke. And I'm like,
Why?
Oh, yeah. So when you said that, I thought you were saying Lloyd was going to choke you. So I was like, oh my God, I've
No.
never seen that part
well,
of it.
Darren or science.
Right.
That's my dad's favorite line. Darren or science. She just comes
That
here and talks
Darren,
about
she's
science.
the worst.
And I'm like, oh, Dad, Darren is the worst. Well, no, but
Yeah.
At least he remembers that you are the science child. So.
Right.
Yes, but sometimes he'll tell me all about Darah.
Yes.
I'm like, yeah, she is Dad.
She's a rascal.
Yeah.
That's why I have to celebrate the small wins in caregiving.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
Yes.
Tell us about some of the wins that you.
So the wins is the bonding that happens, right, during caregiving, the time that is spent. And I remember when with my dad, so my parents ended up dying in the same year. In 2016, they both passed away, one in March and the other in June. And so some of those moments in between with my dad, like hearing parts of his life that I didn't even know existed, and
Yeah.
feelings that he had that I didn't, knew were there, and spending time with my mom and hearing her fears. Like, 'cause our parents don't share their fears with us.
no.
But when she was sick, she would share her fears and share her secrets, and
Yeah.
you all of a sudden become your parent's secret keeper, which is
Mhm.
strange.
A totally different dynamic.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yes.
But those are really the wins, like those highlights where I can see, and those times I knew that like God was present in the room. Times when you knew like his peace came in the room and it was him that kept you this long. And it could have been so much worse, but even in her passing was just like very peaceful. And so I counted those all as wins, because you watch people who struggle and are tortured and don't have caregivers and you don't feel any peace in the room. So those are all wins. The time that is spent, the time you guys spent in the hospital with your mother, like that's invaluable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
That kind of knitting together that you wouldn't have done in your busy lives
Mm-mm.
outside of there. So I feel like those are all just really big wins to get those moments, those memories that you like, things that are just between you, times you spent just between you and your mom. Like
Yeah.
nobody else knows what you said in that room.
Mhm.
And I think that's valuable. And to me, that's the reward of caregiving, is these moments that you have with people that you wouldn't have otherwise.
Yeah.
And the trust.
Yes.
So,
That's true. I remember the day that Darah was trying to convince our mom to be a flautist,
Yes.
and we were doing dance routines in the hospital that we haven't done probably since we were like,
Mm.
I don't know, 8 and 12.
Yes.
maybe?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
and look
Yep.
what that did for you all. Like, it doesn't even just bond you with your parents, but I know my siblings and I came out of our parents' death much closer than we were
Yeah.
before that all happened, because then you have this thing in common
Mhm.
that you went through together. It changes the sibling relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I just have to say, you in particular, I have seen you do some amazing things and amazing things for people's lives. The most amazing thing that I believe I've seen, that I was just like, I don't know how you did that. And all I can chuck it up to, it had to be God, because you gave your mother's funeral.
Yes. I actually eulogized my mom and dad in 2016, 3 months apart. But it was the Holy Spirit. It was definitely the presence of the Holy Spirit. And people were trying to talk me out of it. Like, why are you going to do that? You're not going to be able to make it through that. To me, it was the biggest honor of my entire life to be the last voice to get to speak over my parents. Like, it was the greatest honor. And I look at every funeral that way, really. I feel like anytime somebody would trust you to speak the last words over their loved one is an absolute honor. And so, my dad was quite particular in what he wanted me to say at his funeral, and I broke all the rules. But it was such an honor, because who better could memorialize their life than their baby girl?
Yeah.
And so, it was, in the moment, it wasn't hard. I actually found great joy in the opportunity. Now, the moments after became like, I got home that night like, this really happened. This really happened. And this, excuse me, you now have to go forward. What's life now? Like, the honor of the moment is over. And now you're just their daughter, right? Because in the moment, there's some things I can do in my pastoral role that God empowers me to do. He equips me to do them, and I do them with grace. But at the end of the day, I'm a daughter first. I was a daughter before I was a pastor. And so when I got home with the daughter was like, you lost your mommy. Like, what do you do now? And you all know, like, there's something different when you lose your mother It's kind of like an orphan feeling.
Yes. Yes.
We say that a lot.
All the time.
I feel like an absolute orphan because in the big scheme, who will ever love you like your mother does?
Yeah.
True. That is true.
You know, but what you guys have done beautifully is taken that love and are redistributing it. And that's how I feel like is another win in the lost. When you can take that love, first having had that love, because
Yeah. Everybody doesn't.
absolutely.
Everybody doesn't
Everybody
have a mom
does
to love
not
them.
have a mom that loves them. So to be able to have that is such a blessing. And then to be able to give that to other people, that's a big win. Big win.
Did it feel like an out of body experience?
Yes. Yes. If for maybe the next year.
Wow.
Yes, for the next year. That last month where she was getting sick up until she was gone, and then my dad needed total care. And so that whole thing, that whole period of time feels out of body, but it feels very yesterday. It feels like we're coming on 10 years, but it still feels very yesterday. Like I can remember every detail of every word, every facial expression, but it definitely, I know that it was only the grace of God that carried me through that period. Because I should have lost my mind. I should have been crazy. I should have been, at the same time, I'm pastoring a church. So I could have been, but because of the grace of God, he really ushered me through that time. And so I don't take any credit for it because I know as myself, I would probably be sucking my thumb in a bed. Because grief,
Yeah.
when you don't deal with your grief, it's debilitating.
Yes.
And so when you learn how to deal with it and understand it, not that it's just a part of life, but it is a beautiful passage that when we get to walk people, to that passage of time, there's just really no greater honor or a more beautiful transition in life.
Amen.
Yeah. And something I'm glad you guys are talking about because people don't want to talk about death, but death is a part of life.
Right.
Yes, it is.
Right. And so if we don't talk about it and we don't prepare people for it and we don't talk about the journey, and then you have more of an understanding. And doesn't mean it doesn't hurt, but it's easier to process.
Yes.
When you talk about it.
Yeah. Talk about it. Yes. Please
Absolutely.
talk about it.
Talk about how you want the end of your life to look like.
Yes.
Because people don't have these conversations, and then siblings are fighting and all this stuff. Like,
Absolutely.
luckily, our parents talked about it. Our dad has a living will. We know what to do. We have the blueprint. But there's lots of people that are just afraid to have those conversations. That like, oh, if I talk about death, I'm gonna
Then
go.
it's gonna happen.
I'm gonna walk outside and get hit by a bus. It's like
Right. Like somehow
like-
you're going to bring it on yourself.
Right.
Yes.
like the older
It's not a horror
generation
movie.
that's like,
Right.
oh, they have the C word. Like,
Yes.
oh, you can say cancer. Just because you say it doesn't mean you're going to catch it.
Right.
Right.
'Cause it's one thing we're all going to experience. We all have it in common that we are going to experience death. We're going to experience loss. And I think
Yes.
the greatest gift you can give to your family is to prepare ahead of time.
Yes.
My parents sat down with all of our siblings, ourselves. We went to the funeral home. We got the pre-planning, and we planned every step of their funeral, what they were going to wear, what was going to be sung, before we even got far into the diagnosis. And it was the greatest gift. I showed up at the funeral home. I said, hey, pull the file. They pulled the file, and I didn't have to do anything. So that was a gift that I think everyone, regardless of age, my siblings and I have had those conversations. We all know what we want. My nieces and I have had those conversations so that when we get to that time, it's a gift that they've given us.
Yeah.
That we don't have to figure that out in the midst of grief.
Yes.
Grief is a weight of enough of itself.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
You don't need that stress on top of.
Absolutely not.
Yeah. So I just want to take a pause for a moment and
Yes.
shout out to our friend Heather because every time Melanie talks, Heather cries.
Every time.
And I know Heather is going to be sitting at her desk bawling.
Yes.
Hey, Heather.
Yes. I know. Like when we moved our dad into assisted living, like we were about to eat and you prayed. It was just a blessing over the food. She's sobbing.
Like I turn around and I'm like, what happened? What's going on? I'm like, girl.
We were just blessing the pizza.
Right.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Love Heather. But
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
there's just there's just something special about the way that you share your faith with the world.
Yes.
There really is.
Yeah. I don't, at the end of the day, that I am created for it. I know that I'm created. We all are created. And I mean, we may all do it in different ways, right? I do it from a pulpit. You do it from a podcast. I say Jesus 100 times. You may not say it at all. But at the same time, we're still all doing what God has called us to do and carrying out the purpose that we were created for. And I feel like that's the greatest act of worship, is to do what you were created to do. And you guys are doing that. And I don't know anything else because of the things I've been through. I know that is him, is only him. And I can't imagine spending my life any other way, but making sure that he gets glory out of it. That's what turned it around, with my drug use, with my parents' death, being able to tell other people so they can get free. As long as he gets glory out of it, I'll do it the rest of my life.